What's up, guys? It is Makoa Goble with LowKick MMA, and today I'm joined by the one and only three-time WEC champion and UFC Hall of Famer, Urijah Faber. Uriah, how are you today, my man?
I'm good, brother. I just got out of some sparring Wednesday. It's spar day here at headquarters, and man, we had some good ones today. There's a bunch of guys getting wild in there. It's always motivating.
Man, yeah, and you've always been a guy that's had such a heavy hand in coaching. You've been a trailblazer in MMA. You've even given living situations to a lot of your pupils and such at your gym, Team Alpha Male. You're making history now because you are helping to launch the first ever collegiately backed program, which is going to be called Combat U, in partnership with Sacramento State University to usher in an entirely new generation of combat sports athletes. So, if you'd like, please tell us more about this program and how it all came to be.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing with that program is it's the first of its kind. Not the sport is 30 years old, but in the big scheme of things, that's very, very young. And to have this as the new generation of how the sport develops is pretty awesome. And I love to have a part in it. It's basically the first ever uh, athletic department backed combat cornerstones: wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, and kickboxing. And each will have their own coaching staff, their own seasons, but will really blend into uh, a professional prep team that will be here at my gym at the headquarters. And a lot of the students will actually be able to participate in the actual uh, team practice that's home to some of the best fighters on the planet, world champions, contenders, UFC fighters. So it's really, really unique. We have like I said, the cornerstones of our sport: the boxing, the kickboxing, the wrestling, jiu-jitsu, that helps uh, build an all-around athlete that can be a UFC fighter, one FC fighter, one of the you know the big promotions, and there's actually a probability of having students that are actually fighting as students, which is pretty exciting.
Yes, that is going to be awesome because I know that these kids are going to be able to fight for your promotion and actually be shown on UFC Fight Pass. How did this all come to you? Like, did you just get an offer one day of like, hey, we've got this idea, or was this actually something that you had an idea of?
So the president of Sacramento State is a boxing enthusiast and a combat athlete himself. He took over the position at Sac State, and the proximity of my gym to the university is step one. Number two, we had a fighter from India, Aranjot, who basically reached out to President Wood and said, "Hey, I'm coming to Sacramento State. I'm a combat athlete." And he was telling her the proximity of our gym to the campus, and she said, "Yeah, that's why I'm coming." And he had happened to sign up at my gym and been doing some boxing here at my gym, and so we already had a relationship. And he said, "Hey, did you realize this girl's coming in?" And I said, "Yeah, we have a history. We have a Train with Tam program. We've got people from all over the world in our gym at any given day. We've got teenagers that are from every parts of the world. We've got a kid from Israel and kid from Chechnya and a kid from Japan and China and the UK and Australia. And so we have this strong history uh, of really, being a host to young athletes, but they've always had to take a fork in the road, pursue academics or pursue their career in the fight game. And so this is the first time, and President Luke Wood is the one that said, "Hey, what do you think about doing this as like a real thing at Sac State?" And so that's we started talking about it, and we're both action guys. We put into place like almost immediately working on the details of what it would look like, and I got to kind of architect the thing, and he got to okay the process.
That is so awesome, man. Can you
Yeah.
describe the vetting process as to how you put together the coaching roster for this program? Because it's going to feature some amazing coaches such as Cody Linton, Brandon Gonzalez, Cedric Manhoff, and Joseph Morales. Was it a struggle to put together such a star-studded cast? And were they all very excited to be a part of this?
It was not difficult at all. I mean, really, what I look for is people that are already passionate about things and are already really good at things. And some of the other coaches on there, Alex Sandoval, he fought in the UFC. Um, he's also already coaching here at my gym. Corey McKenna, she's a current UFC fighter from the UK. Hector Fajardo, he's a current fighter on our roster that has fought some of the toughest guys on the planet. And so what I did is really take kind of the cream of the crop that we had around here that were young and hungry and would be excited about this, and then made them the offer to be a part of it. And Brandon Gonzalez is a boxing staple in Sacramento. He's been at the world class level, and he has his own gym, and have a great relationship with him as well. So it was not difficult. I've actually got a waiting list once we get our budget up, and this thing takes takes wind to start adding in a bunch more coaches and staff.
Man, that is so cool. And let's talk about like the path for fighters, because before this program, there was really no clear and concise path for young fighters to take to try and get into the UFC or other big brands. I mean, everybody has this idea in their head of like, okay, I need to train and I need to fight and I need to win. But now there's going to be an actual college program, to kind of guide these people. And how does it feel to be a part of that? And are you ready to see the first student come out of this program, fight for your promotion, and then become a UFC champion one day?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty awesome, man. And we actually have some of our current fighters that are interested in being part of the program. So guys like Slava Borshev, he's fighting this weekend in Missouri. He got accepted into school here, and Chris Gonzalez that fought in Bellator at a high level. He's going to be part of the program as well. So we have guys that are already fighting that were waiting to go back and do their education afterwards. They're gonna start doing it now, and it's still really raw. There's still really no pathway, and I've got a bunch of things I'm working on outside of this to help really dial that in. And the UFC is doing a great job with their fight headquarters in different countries. They just opened one in Mexico. They've got one in China. I think they're probably going to go to India next. So we want to be kind of in conjunction with the how to, but that's to start at the age of 4 or 5, not at the age of 20 or 18 or whenever you decide that you can go pro and everything else, because every other sport's like that. Boxing, kickboxing, football, baseball, basketball, soccer, there is a clear path. And we're so new. We're really putting some things in place where we can help develop this sport.
That is so beautiful, man. You're going to be a part of a legendary moment that's going to go down in history. And my last question about this, I mean, I've got tons, but how active will you be in regards to this program? And like, what are some of your responsibilities going to be to help nurture this thing?
So the biggest thing is the pro prep class. So the pro prep class is gonna be an open invite for people that are up to par in the 4 different disciplines. So boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. If you're in one or all 4 of those clubs, and the coaches feel like you have the skill set to move up, you can get into the pro prep class and possibly into our pro class. So the pro prep class will be hosted here at our gym. And then our pro practice is obviously here, and I'll be, present for that. I'll be present for the development of the pros, and so on top of that, my coaching staff, the guys underneath me with Hector Fajardo, who's heading the program, are they're also reporting to me. I'm going to coach. I'm going to coach the coaches. So I'm going to be pretty hands-on this thing. And aside from that, I'm going to be helping to hold events inside my gyms and on campus with my A1 Combat Fight promotion. So, keeping these fighters busy is a big part of development. They have to compete. They have to understand you know, what it's like to be pushed, what it's like to have a game day, that kind of stuff needs to happen. And so that's my whole role in this thing will be the architecture of the thing, and then the nuts and bolts will be the Sacramento State staff and our coaching staff.
That's so beautiful, man. Let's talk a little bit of Jose Aldo, man. That's another legend such as yourself. There's word that you were able to catch up with Jose at UFC 301 after his giant victory. What were some of the words you shared together, and how do you feel about Jose Aldo wanting to cut the line and face Sean O'Malley for some bantamweight gold?
Man, I would love to see that. I think, I mean, this is one of the best I've seen Aldo. I think the acclimation to the weight class is big. He was always a big guy. When I fought him at 145 pounds, I felt like he was a big guy. And so I think it took a while for his body to really adjust to being a 135 pounder, but I thought he looked amazing. We don't speak the same language. So when I see Aldo, it's mostly just some basic exchanges of greetings and sharing love, and we've always had a great energy, before we fought, after we fought, and in the years of retirement for me. So yeah, I just gotta wish him a good luck before the fight, and from there we got to see him do his thing, which was awesome.
So, one of your biggest contenders at the moment, I mean, you've been a part of so many fighters' his career, but one of your biggest stars right now is a young man named Song Yadong. He just came off of a loss against Peter Yan, and my questions is, how is he doing? And could you speak at all into his mindset, how he took the loss, and what's kind of his game plan going forward?
Um, right now I just talked to Song last night. He's in China training. He's just getting back on training, and his weight's not far away. We're thinking about having him wait till the China card to get going on his fights, but that may or may not happen. I don't know, because China is kind of volatile when it comes to hosting fights. So he came off with some positive lessons from that fight. I think, in my opinion, he won most of that fight. There's a few moments at the end of one round that I thought he won completely. Peter Yan was able to score a takedown and put a stamp on it, and then it was every other round was very close. So I think he did great in that fight, and I think he's, even with that loss, moving closer to the title. And his mindset's great. He's no stranger to the ups and downs of the sport, and he can hold his head high on that fight. It was a beautiful fight, and he's excited to get the belt.
Nice. Last question for me, and again, I appreciate your time so much. What are your thoughts about a potential Merab versus O'Malley fight? I mean, everybody knows O'Malley likes to stand and bang. Do you think he's going to be able to stop the smothering, offensive wrestling presence that is Merab?
Um, I think it's going to be hard to say. You would think so, but no one else has been able to, even Henry Cejudo. So, honestly, that's a bad matchup for O'Malley, because Merab is so durable. I mean, that dude's durable. He's got to get some killers and just kind of walk through their best offense. And so, the only time he was really hurt is when he knocked himself out slamming himself. But O'Malley's got that it factor. He's got a finesse about him. He's got like kind of like a matador type of style. So, Merab's definitely a bull, and if O'Malley can have his perfect fight, he'll just be tagging him with clean shots and staying on the outside. And O'Malley's grappling is really good. I've trained with some of his training partners, really high level training partners, and they know how to wrestle and know jiu-jitsu. So it could go either way. I could go either way.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you again. And is there anything you would like to end off on before we go?
If anybody's got a jiu-jitsu camp out there or loves jiu-jitsu, check out robotbjj.com. It's the most cutting edge training tool in the sport. It's pretty incredible. So that's something to check out. And then stay tuned, because I got a lot of stuff cooking. I do have another interview after this. So I will say goodbye and thank you for your time.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and we're out.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.